vicious women in the society. So vicious, them turn them viciousness and children. Yes, I mean, since the year start and beyond, before the year start, the amount of children that has been either killed or beaten by women, we have to start to figure out what the hell is happening. What is happening? We see a woman and stamp a girl. I don't know if them catch that woman there, I them know who are, but it's a vicious thing. Where them I eat, where them I drink, where them I smell. I thought this viciousness was reserved for men. We see a woman take a little picnic out of school, and then we go here and say, her throat cut. The other day we see a woman with a little 14-year-old gang up on her and a beat her. We interview a mother of a child that about 2-3 years ago that was beaten to the point up to now she in a wheelchair. A woman do that. I think a 5-woman gang up on her. We have to go really try to figure it out. Where the psychologists them there? Where are the psychologists that spend dollars on top of dollars to go to university and read big books to study human behavior, whether male or female? What is happening? And it's a consistent thing. It keeps going on and on and on and on and on. As one done so, the next month, a year, and next one. What are these women doing in their mind that they have to really manifest it physically upon a child? You know, people hear all the while about man who do this, but I couldn't tell you last I hear a man beat a little picnic to pulp. I can't remember a man beat a picnic like how me say. Remember the woman with a beat her daughter with a machete? With a machete, them beat her picnic with, you know. I can't remember. Somebody have to call me and tell me when last them hear a man beat a child, like the viciousness what we see on them YouTube page, them internet page, where we see a go on. Where the psychiatrists them there? Where the psychiatrists, where them call them, where the government launch social programs them, where the social program them are supposed to really prevent certain behaviors before it bud up. Because right now we say no prevention now take place, or maybe it take place but we don't hear about it and it is not enough because it's not making any difference. Just like the crime rate, because that is a crime in itself. That is a crime in itself. We hear the last one we hear about, we hear the woman they on bail and her case I call up March. And I don't put on and I say, that's what them say, because next year them say I will still attack, I will still forget about it, because something else will come up. And so said, so done, see something else come up on the other case, they never call up yet. What is happening to the women them? Why them treating the children them like that? We about the next killing the other day with one of the minister them, or one of the politicians them. You know, it's terrible. It's terrible, man. So now we have to figure out how the murder rate increase and how, and don't say it now increase because the Prime Minister said it now increase, you know. We now follow away my say, you know. We are talking about the feelings in the society. It's not a perception. You know. It's like the accident on the road. Every day I see a car accident. Every day. I not exaggerate. Every day. Look at the man, him just know me I come down the road and just crash 2 cars over this and say, see Muta come, I could crash 2 cars down there, so. I mean, really. And sometimes I look on the car and I wonder how the hell them car they crash. I see a video where a car burn up on big road down in the country there. Me want to know the people them want to take them thing there. Want to the people them that take them just stand up there and watch this happen and not do nothing about it. because they want to put it on the internet. I mean, granted, it make the thing go out there. But man, you can't see a car accident and you see a man in a car and you can't help him. And the first thing you do is draw out your phone. Oh, we get so callous in our mind. We go into the darkness of the dark, man. The darkness of the dark. And nobody can blame the devil neither, you know. Come forward that the devil make you do it. Nobody can blame the devil because everything people are blame devil and not blame devil. When not them are do it. Don't take the blame off of yourself. The society reach a level so now that anything goes. And you just have to wait for the next event. Because it come like it's an event that go on in Jamaica with them like a madness. What we see. The man them not drive properly. The bike man not bob and weed. Not to mention the bike man them about them pillar and not kill people. Me make a suggestion and me know them hear me, you know, but them just a bypass it. Last week, me and a politician brethren, we talk and we have to figure it out. This week, now me come here another pillion man. This morning, them say, them shoot a liar woman. Man just ride up beside her and boy fire 2 shots and gone. That sound like a paid thing. Because them no rob her or nothing. Them just fire kill her and run. Nobody not see nobody grab no bag or nothing. Or go in her car and take out nothing. But them dep on a bike. And the pillion is always the man with the gun. I don't know how these people don't realize that I recognize, in a them time, you have to take some serious measures. Only women and children on the back of bike. And that me say, and I'll keep repeating it. Only women and children should be allowed to ride on the back of a bike in Jamaica at this time. Because most of the murders them are going on the road is a bike man, pillion, on the back of the bike, have the gun. Sometimes them jump off of the bike, fire 2 shots in the crowd and then jump on back and gone. Because the bike man not turn off the bike. We don't see that. Oh, it's so clear. What is what them call it now? Constitutional. It is not constitutional. It's proper to do that. You can't say a man can't ride on the back of a bike. What the hell you talking about? What you say you can't do that? A government on the name, one of the worst than that already. I see it boldly with my eye every time you hear about a drive-by on a bike. It's a pillion man do the shooting. The man are no cowboy where them one on bike and a whole fire shot and a ride said way. And the man a cowboy or bike boy. Them need somebody behind them a sit down to fire the shot. But we are taught these things and them are going like say we're too extreme. All the government are call state of emergency every minute. Like say that is the way to go. I thought those things was unconstitutional. I don't know about the constitution, but what I know of it, I know say, you're not supposed to use a state of emergency to do what the government them are doing. They're supposed to find methods. Them and the so-called opposition. Police and thief in the street. I don't know if anybody, Bridget called me last night about it and I noticed it from the other day. The other day when them tell us they're going to put more police on the road in Half a Tree there. Right, in Half a Tree, which part the bus terminal there and cross the road. Mandela Park and them place there. You know, say, the police them put down there, them wasn't alert. No, a man could have robbed a woman or a man and run away. And when the man disappeared, they would have find out because most of them, when I say, when me pass personally, going and coming, them depend on them cell phone. Or somebody can depend on duty and not be alert. And that kind of police force them around, them supposed to put people out there. I guess them feel say a thief from him to the uniform, him not going to do nothing. But that is not the case or the point. The point is that the police did for them duty, them put up on the phone and look, girl, Rasta. Or park up. And I use phone. Every one of them. I see 4 of them stand up over, cross from the terminal there, on the South Avenue side there. A South Avenue that? No, not South Avenue that. Where the car side. Anyway, opposite opposite Mandela Park. Yeah, on the east side, west side. I mean, I say, all of them, 4 of them stand up there, and the 4 of them are use them cell phone. 4 of them are use them cell phone. I say, what kind of thing that? I don't understand that. Police supposed to be on the alert. You're not supposed to stand up in a busy area where anything is possible I watch your cell phone, I talk to cell phone, and all these things. But I guess it's Jamaica, and Jamaica is not a real place. A news time.
Scores of medical doctors are reportedly restive due to lengthy delays in negotiations regarding the new overtime policy. In a statement this afternoon, the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association says it has taken note of Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke's recent statement that he has been actively engaging with the unions. It says the ministry, however, has not only left its numerous letters unanswered, but has also neglected to have its first meeting with the union about the policy. The JMDA said it appears as though the plight of doctors has been forgotten. The association has described the situation as unacceptable. It says it is a blatant disregard for doctors who work tirelessly to service the nation, and as such the Finance Ministry must address the matter urgently. A woman was arrested in connection with the seizure of about 5 kilograms of cocaine at the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston yesterday. Reports at about 5 p.m. the woman checked in to board a flight destined for London, England. While at the security checkpoint, 4.8 kilograms of cocaine with an estimated street value of $144,000 were reportedly discovered concealed in milk packages in her suitcase. She was arrested on reasonable suspicion of breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act. Her identity is being withheld pending further investigations. A Portland man was charged following the recovery of 2 Toyota Probox motor cars, which were reported as stolen last year. Charged with 2 counts of larceny of motor vehicle is 34-year-old Tajon Hunt, a construction worker of Baker Street, Pope in Portland. Reports are that on Tuesday, lawmen were conducting an operation in the area between 7 a.m. and 12 noon when 2 Toyota Probox motor vehicles were found dismantled and the chassis numbers erased. Checks revealed that the vehicles were stolen on December 3. Hunt was arrested and charged yesterday following a question and answer session. His court date is being finalized. And finally, in news overseas, at least 12 pupils and 2 teachers are thought to have drowned in Western India after a boat ferrying them to a school picnic capsized earlier today. Local police say a rescue operation is ongoing. The cause of the incident, which happened on a lake, is not yet known. About 27 people were on board the vessel. The police commissioner said 7 people were rescued from the water and are undergoing treatment at a nearby hospital. He added that the victims had not been provided life jackets during the boat ride.
Okay, was playing a bridge a while ago. Somebody else said Nasamba. And Nasamba, him name him passed about 2 years ago. And this singer tune him Old Corolla, we used to play enough for FM. But yeah, the bridge in pass. I'm talking about the politician, him too lie. We're going to play our next bridge now. Him come out of Bermuda. And Poet bridge, we know very well. Him talk about a youth where the police them kill in a New York, Loyola. That is how it go. Now them have a thing about George Floyd. Them are investigate, some right wingers are investigating and say, after we see how the man dead, they must say, I don't see him dead. Why America don't easy, the Rasta? When you are look bad, them want to make you say, no go so. And you see it with your eye, and you say, they must say, no go so. More than one camera. And them will tell you, say, yeah, what you see is not what you must believe. I mean, you can't do that still. You can't say things when you go so, but really and truly, they have a way. Donald Trump is one of the main man who stayed away there. When you hear him say, you never say it. It's a really weird world at this time, yeah. I don't know what the youth ever going to do. Yeah, 20 years time, I don't know what will happen. If AI will be walking on the road, yes, AI will be converting traffic into pile-up, and police will be wondering if the AI over there says a thief. We just received a communique from my producer, Shamara Preston, and it reads that the Child Protection and Family Services Agency has located the girl who was seen being stomped on by a woman. The child's mother in a new viral video, the child, who is 15 years old, is now in the care of her father. She's currently receiving medical attention at the hospital. According to the CEO of the CPFSA, Mrs. Lynette Adams Thomas, quote, our investigation team was able to quickly locate the child. We can confirm that the woman seen assaulting her in the video is her mother. And her mother, Rasta. Her mother. The child is now in the care of father, and she's currently receiving medical attention in the hospital. We will continue to follow up with the child to offer psychological and psychological and psychosocial and any other forms of necessary intervention, Mrs. Adam Thomas said. The police have been made aware of the case, and we will expect that they will take the appropriate action, she continued. Mrs. Adams Thomas also sought to remind and encourage persons to report any and all forms of child abuse using the 24-hour child abuse reporting hotline 211. She also noted that the child abuse reports may be made through WhatsApp text at 878-2882 or email report@childprotection.gov.jm or by visiting any CPFSA parish office or through our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and CPFSAJM. Wow. You saw it go now? I don't know. You see, things just go quick, you know, because I see it happened this morning and I see it already. We wonder if you think the same thing can happen for the brethren them who shot the liar woman this morning. But this, as usual, it go fast. Faster than the police, though. Yes. Why, may I tell you? It's serious. It's serious. Here we go. The music attack, what I want to say. The Virgin of One Life from 2000 for Pierpont Chaban. What a thing to say. We have to consider, say, if you're born 2000, you're 20 years old right now. And we see most of the youth, them are dead under 30, 35, yes. Them say the population have more young people than people like me. But it's like young people, them are dead quicker than the old people, them. Yeah, where the culture gone. That the Virgin of Sing say. Yeah, man, that's some serious lyrics. Name Jah Israel. Serious lyrics the Virgin of Sing. Where the culture gone. Yeah, we are cutting pan cheering actually, so talk to the sister. She living in America about it. You know, we've been talking about this war in Palestine or Israel, and which one you want to call it. We have a sister on the line where we want to discuss with her. Most of the things, good evening, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, blessed love, Mutabaruka.
All right. So, I'm going to start with, well, we're going to talk about where we're going in the so-called Middle East with you because we know you have a connection with down there, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And my audience is kind of level. Them not have no, whole heap of long words and big words and them stuff, just like me. So we want to keep it as level as, grassroots as possible where we talk about. And we know you can't talk that way. So, first of all, now, what is the difference between Zionism and Jewism? Well, I'm called Jews. What's the difference?
The difference between Zionism and Jewism?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting one. Zionism, as I define it, is support for the modern nation state of Israel as a state for the Jews. Now, Jewism, I think what you're referring to is just people who identify as Jewish. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So people who identify as Jewish, the dominant voice that you hear in the world today is people of European Jewish descent, so-called Ashkenazi. That's my ancestry.
Okay.
So a group of Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, pushed for the formation of their own state, a Jewish state within what was Palestine.
Okay.
Over decades. And of course, England had colonized that land after World War I, taken it from the Ottoman Empire. And at that time, Europe was carving up the Middle East as the imperialist aggressors in that area. England took Palestine. When England released Palestine, they promised the Arabs during the war that they would release Palestine to the Arabs. And they did that in in an attempt to get the Arabs to join them in the war against the Ottoman Empire, which resulted in the Arab revolt that helped England take that land.
Okay.
At the same time, England was promising that land to a small group of Jewish Zionists.
That is the ones that must coming from Europe.
Yes, from Europe, right.
Okay.
So, and in particular, the Rothschild. So they signed a declaration of Balfour saying that we will give this land as a Jewish state. The Balfour Declaration was penned by Walter Rothschild, Arthur Balfour, and two other men. And it was signed by Balfour. It's a very short document. I know you're familiar with it, but it basically just says you can form this state of Israel here as long as you don't mistreat the Arab population that's already there. So it was a betrayal by Great Britain of the Arab people in that land, promising them their freedom while at the same time offering that land to the Zionists.
The Zionists, okay. All right.
And these were European Jews. And what gave them really what fueled Zionism then and really helped the formation of the state, of course, was World War II and the advent of Nazi Germany. Because before that, there was very little support, even from European Jews. There was very little support for the formation of the state of Israel.
Okay. So let me ask you now. The European Jews that is coming from like Russia and Germany, right? A lot of them.
Yes.
It's coming from Russia and Germany.
Russia, Germany, Poland, throughout Europe.
Yes. All right. These Jews who came in because of England, the other Jews who claim right to the land, we're not talking about now the ones who coming from Europe. These Jews claim the Torah as them land title. That is what them say.
Right.
Them say the Torah is them. And for those of you who don't know what the Torah is, really the Old Testament. You know, Christians call it Old Testament. The Jews them say Torah. Because of some argument in the Bible about God giving them the land flowing with milk and honey. All right. What is it that is saying that these people is directly connected to the Torah? Why are they saying that they're connected to the Torah?
Well, European Jews believe themselves to be direct descendants of Abraham. Now, that's, as you know, that's hotly contested. We don't know who converted at what point, but we do know that for many centuries, Jews in Russia and Ukraine and Poland and Germany, England, France, throughout Europe, have considered ourselves as the descendants. And now for most Jews in Israel, they're secular. So even to state the Torah as the reason, we're looking at the Torah as if it's literal history, as if there was a God that said this land is for you. Most of us, most European Jews, if you talk to, it's not a literal belief in the Torah. You know, if you talk to people even within the state of Israel and even look at the founders, many of them were secular. And yet this document gets used to justify as if it's a history book. It's cognitive dissonance to me. It doesn't make sense.
All right. So the Jews them who is saying that they are descended from those Jews in long gone in history, they claim the land not out of they're saying that they are descendants, genealogically descendant of those people abroad. What is it that is pushing this idea? I mean, I know that them use the Bible to push the idea, but in modern time, like Netanyahu and all these guys in Israel now, they are using the same argument. But as you say, and I would have said, it don't stand. Who is now telling them that don't go so?
Well, I think that the Bible gets used to justify imperialist wars all over the world. Israel is one example. But if you talk to someone who is a secular Jew in Israel, beyond whether the Torah, beyond whether our ancestry goes back to Abraham, and beyond whether there actually was an actual Abraham, and beyond whether this is the history of our genealogy, there is a need that will be expressed for Jewish people. European Jews will often speak of ourselves as the Jews without recognition of other Jews, maybe a little bit of recognition that there are Sephardic or Mizrahi Arab Jews, but very little recognition of African Jews. Again, maybe a little in Ethiopia, but not the Jews of Igbo, not the Jews beyond that. So we'll speak of ourselves as the Jews, and we'll say we as Jews have been so persecuted that we have to have a homeland. So regardless of whether you're religious, you can use that on a secular grounds. You can say we have to have a homeland because we've been kicked out of, expelled, or exterminated everywhere in the world that we've been. That is used as the rationale from a secular standpoint for the state of Israel.
So the
the state of Israel, because the unjust policies of the state of Israel, and because the state was founded on the backs of people who were already living in that land, the Arab inhabitants who were not Jewish. There was a small contingent of Jewish people there, but the vast majority were Muslims at the time of the founding of the state. So the founding of the state is on the backs of people already there. It's an imperialist agenda that serves the United States and England at that time. And as such, forming on the basis of injustice, it puts Jews, it actually gives rise to the anti-Semitism that the state is supposed to be formed to protect Jews against. In other words, as the imperialist aggressors that Israel is in its current state, taking over people's land, putting them into concentration camps, rounding them up, imprisoning without charges over long periods of time, right now the starvation of 2.3 million people, those policies put Jews all over the world in danger. They give rise to the hatred of Jews.
In America, where you are now as a Jew, your co-workers are your friends, them, you and them tangle with your talking here now, like what you say now is something that they are trying to not broadcast over the radio, that a Jew is speaking for the Palestinians, them, therefore that makes you a terrorist. You get any of that feed,
yes,
feedback?
Yeah, it's ludicrous. I mean, it's a little bit similar after 9/11 in the United States. If you said, don't go attack Iraq, you were considered, there's you're either with us or against us mentality.
Yes.
And like 9/11, October 7th, the brutality, the atrocities that took place on October 7th are used to then justify greater atrocities.
Yeah, and
so
they match up Iraq.
If you speak against the assault on Gaza, if you water immediately to these people, if you say killing 10,000 children is not okay, not in my name, you're considered a traitor, and I'm considered anti-Semitic, which is a bit ridiculous on a number of fronts. So to me, to speak up for social justice is my favorite aspect of what it means to me to come from a Jewish line. So European Jews, one of the values that is held very close to our hearts is tikkun olam, which is Hebrew for to mend what's broken. It's what I'm most proud of as a Jew.
Wait, hold on. What you say about tikkun olam?
Tikkun olam, yes. It's one of the highest values within Judaism.
Okay.
And it's social justice. And it's one thing that if you look to European Jews for, or especially, looking here in America, in every social justice movement, you will see a high number of European Jews standing up for justice, including right now standing up for Palestine.
Well, we see
but
them
our
on the
voices
TV.
are silenced.
Yes, we see them on the TV. No, I'm saying we see them on the TV. A lot of Palestinians, a lot of Jews like yourself is standing up against the state of Israel right now because of the atrocities that has been done in the name of Israel. It's kind of weird. So I don't know.
Yes, we have to. We have to. But our voices get silenced and we get told that we're self-hating Jews. When to me, what I love about Judaism is the value of social justice. And even using the stories in the Torah, the ideas of coming out of slavery, whether or not we take that history as our history or literal, those are the myths that our culture is founded upon. So we're supposed to stand up against injustice at every turn. And you saw that in the civil rights movement. You see that in the anti-racist movement in America. You see that in anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist.
All right, I ask you, because I see everything is live now. You can see it as it is happening. There is a quote that Benjamin Netanyahu speak of when he mentioned Amlak, and I see some soldiers dancing to a song that referred to God telling, I think it's Moses, to wipe out the people of Amlak, kill them, men, women, and children. That's what the Bible says. If you go back to it, you will see it in there. Kill men, women, and children. And they are now...
And their livestock.
Yeah, they are now quoting this in this war now. That you can say really and truly it's a total genocide. They're really trying to get rid of all of the Palestinians them to take the land totally. How you feel as a Jewish woman for really stand up and see that take place? How you feel?
How do I feel? I mean, I'm outraged. I'm outraged and I'm heartbroken that people can act in this way and that the state of Israel stands for this. And what the excuse is maybe Netanyahu can say we're talking about the Hamas terrorists who did what they did on October 7th. Because what they did was inhumane. It was brutal. There were rapes, there were murders, there were torture. All of that really did happen. But what you see is an immediate you see the immediate revenge, and it's in the name of security. So the defense is, no, we just want to go kill the terrorists because we have to make our people safe. But if you look at the reality, and they're saying that this was an unprovoked attack, that this came out of the blue. And the rationale is just, okay, these Hamas people are just so evil, they don't want peace.
Them just get up and start to kill people. No, there's not like that, because you're talking about a history of murdering Palestinians before December the 7th. It's a reaction to what was happening. It's a reaction to what was happening before that lead up to this.
Exactly.
So I don't see how
that specifically with Gaza, when I first went to Israel and Palestine in 2005.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, sorry, there was another voice on the phone at Irie, so the connection got a little funny. So in 2005, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay. So 2005, I was there, and this is the second Intifada. And the Israeli government...
Hold on. You have to explain to the people what is the second Intifada, because most Jamaicans are not familiar with that. So
okay, thank you. So this is the second major uprising. Uprising of Palestinians is known as an Intifada.
Okay.
So you have oppression starting before 1948, when Jews are moving in and saying this is our land and not wanting to even share the land. So there's statements that are made by the Israeli government, like Herzl, founder of Israel, saying of course we won't kick the Arabs out. But then you read in his own journals that are published later, the goal was always to kick the Arabs out. Or you look at Sharon, president of it. So what Israelis like to say is they say Palestinians never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. So what they say is that it's the Palestinians who are so unreasonable. The Palestinians don't want peace. The Palestinians train their children as suicide bombers. This is the justification. When the goal is to move the Palestinians out of that land so that there can be a Jewish state for Jews.
Yes,
only.
Totally. Because now they're moving them into other countries. Them talking about Uganda and talking about all these places. That's madness.
The Congo. Right now, Netanyahu was in conversations with the Congo. The Democratic Republic of Congo is one of the places that they would like to move Palestinians to. And they say it is a voluntary relocation. Now, Palestinians know what voluntary relocation means. It means being driven out of their home in 1948 and 1967 and to this day. So in the last year, with the most right-wing government that Israel's seen, there's been a push to move Palestinians out of the West Bank. October 7th was an excuse to greatly accelerate the pressure on Palestinians in the West Bank and in Gaza to leave. Israel wants that land by any means necessary. However, I know that many Israelis really don't know that and don't believe that and would think that this is just about their own defense and don't they deserve to live. So I understand the people feeling like we have to do this, but if they study their own government and if they read their own president, like Ariel Sharon, in 1973, while he's saying to the public and to the world, we're willing to compromise with the Palestinians. We want to create a two-state solution where Palestinians have their own state and their own rights. It sounds very good. And the world says, oh, see, Israel's trying. Palestinians are not trying. But what Ariel Sharon's saying behind the scenes is we're going to make a pastrami sandwich out of Palestine. That's his words, pastrami sandwich. We'll insert a strip of Jewish settlement in between the Palestinians and across the West Bank so that in 25 years' time, neither the UN or the US, nobody will be able to tear it apart so that there cannot be a two-state solution. So you hear Israeli government saying, for a long time, we're willing to negotiate, but the Palestinians keep blowing it. Yeah. Behind the scenes, there's another story. Behind the scenes is what's called the silent transfer. We will make life so unbearable for the Palestinians that they will leave voluntarily. Some people today say, well, why don't the Gazans want to go? Because they know that Palestinian children know what happens if they leave their land. For a short time, they're never coming back. They will be held in refugee camps for the rest of their lives and their children's lives and their grandchildren. They don't want to leave their home.
What you think should happen? No, I mean, you think, all right, it looked like Benjamin wanted the war to continue. So him trying to get Lebanon involved. We see that the Iranians, them involved, because of certain people who get to them. What you think should happen now?
Well, I think that what should happen now is not what will happen now. I think that what should happen now is an immediate and permanent ceasefire, immediate and permanent rebuilding of Gaza.
But they're asking the Arab them to build it up. They're asking the Arab them to build it back.
No. The Arabs didn't tear it down.
So no, but that's what I'm saying. Benjamin Netanyahu has asked the Arab them to build it back.
I think that if the bombs stop falling, I think that a lot of the world would come to the aid of the people of Gaza.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But to me, but if we can't go back, the reason that October 7th happened was a resistance. What was it a resistance to? It was a resistance to occupation. Gaza was an open air prison. Yeah. When I was there in 2005, I met with many Israeli and Palestinian human rights activists, and the Israeli human rights activists were phenomenal. And what they told me was that in 2005, Israel would pull its settlers out of Gaza, and it would look to the world like a peace offering, but it was not a peace offering. You pull the settlers out of Gaza because when Israelis are in Gaza, they witness what's happening in Gaza, and the Israeli army has to protect them in Gaza.
Yeah.
It's expensive, sort of like any British colony that became untenable, like Jamaica or Haiti to the French. It became untenable for them to hold. So they said, okay, we're going to offer this to the Palestinians as a peace offering, and watch what'll happen. They'll probably mess it up again.
Mess it up, yeah. Right? That's what they think about black people.
Yeah, right. Palestinians will never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity, right? So watch what'll happen. But what they were really doing is pulling their settlers out so that they can contain Gaza entirely and control it entirely. Now, when you can bomb, you can cut off electricity, you can cut off water, you can assault the people full on without anybody there to fight back, right? So and the excuse then will be, okay, there's these little unguided missiles that get launched over, right? These little pathetic attempts at resistance, because anyone's going to resist. The conditions within Gaza or any of the refugee camps, if you go there, you would say anybody here has to resist this. And then Israel acts shocked at the resistance. Why are these people so warlike? Why do this must just be who they are. They're animals, right? And it justifies them further. And look, they fire rockets on us as if it's unprovoked, as if everybody in the land has equal rights and justice. The only solution that I can see is a one state that actually has equal rights and justice for all the people. And that may be utopian. That may never happen, because what is happening right now is going to further fuel the hatred. It's going to further fuel resistance to Israeli occupation.
Can you imagine all of those children that pass away and the young youth them now see them grandparents murdered with bombs and things? Can you imagine for them art against Israelis? How them feel?
I can imagine it would take a whole lot to heal that kind of trauma.
Yeah, but he's saying that he's going to get rid of anybody who think like the Hamas people them. Or you going to get rid of thinking of the people them when you do that? Or you going to get rid of the thinking? You bomb everything. The thinking, or you're going to get a Palestinian.
They're increasing. Are you talking about the thinking of the Israelis or the thinking?
No. I'm saying after you do all of that damage and destruction and killing, the ones that is left, the young people that is left in Palestine, how are you going to get that revengeful thinking out of them head? Because I hear Benjamin Netanyahu saying that he's not going to stop until him get out all the Hamas people them, and who is left, him going to get out all the thinking, the mental thinking that really feel that Hamas is something that you're supposed to love, and you're going to get the youth them out in a Palestine. If you don't think it's Israeli.
Yeah, you bomb them, you kill their family. I mean, you look at the head of the military wing of Hamas, his own family, his own infant child and wife were killed by the Israeli Defense Forces years ago. So you know that when brutality breeds this kind of hostility, right? So you're creating terrorists faster than you can kill them, as the United States has done so well in Iraq, Afghanistan, everywhere in the Middle East that we have decimated. And Israel is the United States middleman. Yeah. What the United States gets out of it is we have a stronghold in the Middle East through Israel.
Middle East security.
Also,
yes. But
apparently
the Yemenites them and the Iranians them lose that fear that them usually have for America, because them are retaliate against America hard. I can't say it.
I don't know. I wonder if they lose the fear, or if they're just courageous enough to say we have to do whatever we can do. Because to stand up to the United States is no small thing. To stand up to Israel is no small thing. You see how hard Israel hits back.
Yes.
And Israel, the United States, just the same. We're also maintaining a global arms trade that is crucial to United States interests. Israel is a key part of our global arms trade. And over the last year, you saw people touting this. Okay, there's going to be peace between Israel and the Arabs. There's this idea there was some kind of peace movement, which is nonsense. What happened was the United States, through Trump was brokering. or serving as a spokesperson for this at the very least. But there were agreements between the United States through Israel, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. This was a massive arms deal that was touted as a peace movement. So what was building up to this uprising in Gaza that you just saw October 7th, to this onslaught, this attack on Israel, was a year plus of intensified negotiations where it looked like some of the Arab world was getting behind Israel because there was so much to gain in terms of arms deals.
Yes.
And in terms of, and also, of course, looking at the long-term goal, one of the long-term goals is the decimation of Iran, the last stronghold in the Middle East, standing up to imperialist aggression.
Yeah.
And that's where this is ultimately headed.
Well, I mean, I want to thank you for your input, but on a side level, Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden. Oh, you see that?
I see that it's quite likely that Donald Trump will be back in power here. And I think that so many people have been confused by massive social media campaigns. There are so many people who have been confused into thinking that Donald Trump stands for something good. They say draining the swamp. They don't realize that he is the swamp. That's where he comes from. His family were KKK. This is not somebody who is a freedom fighter. I don't know how the online, this whole QAnon online rabbit hole has led people to thinking that Donald Trump is the answer.
But yesterday, I mean, at the court and against the woman who the film and she called back in the court again. Yesterday, I mean, at the court and the judge said, "Look here, behave yourself in the court, or I might send you out." Him dear the judge, him said, "Send me out." Yes, send me out. I don't know if you saw it.
No.
Yeah, man, my dear judge. The broadcaster said, "There's no man, especially if he's black, could have go in our court, go dear the judge. He would have get in prison right away." And that is really what is taking place. And also, I don't know if American people, I mean, if them can't see her, him create a cult around him. Him create a cult. Him is like the return
there's
Messiah.
Madness. And there's so many misinformation campaigns right now. Everyone thinks that they have the real true news and that the mainstream news is not the news. And it's very hard to know
that is
what's
what everybody say. That is why everybody keeps saying that the mainstream news is not telling the truth. But
and that's the thing is, you take some things that are true and then you turn it into a whole story. So it's true that mainstream news has lied to people, certainly,
of course.
But then you can't make it seem like all mainstream news is going to be lies there. And so then where do you get your news? It feels like things are getting more and more and more confused, and I think that it's intentional.
Yes. Anyway, give thanks.
Confuse people easier.
Give thanks. I mean, not tell the truth. If you never identify yourself as a Jew, people that say lie, she don't know Jew, she a Palestinian, she a Palestinian. Me no say he's a Jew.
In the United States, though, there's a lot of us. There are a lot of Jews who were raised. My father was a leftist Jewish historian. My stepfather is a Russian Jewish historian, and he taught me from a young age. He gave me the history books and said, "Read this. Read and really know." And so it wasn't. And people would call him. They would say it was internalized anti-Jewish oppression, and he said that's nonsense. I'm anti-imperialist. And if there was a Jewish state, you would want that state to really stand for the spirit of social justice. Then maybe it could be something that would be really good in the world, really a light unto nations. But you cannot have a Jewish state that is occupying other people and putting other people in concentration camps, bombing, starving.
Not.
You can't have that.
And that
feels real anti-Jewish oppression.
Yes. Anyway, give thanks, sister. We have to move.
Give thanks, Muta. I just want to quickly express my respect for a few people while I've got Jamaica on the line, for some of the women in the Rastafari movement who devoted their lives to upholding social justice and for liberation of African people and all people.
Right.
So these are some of the women I really look up to. Empress Esther, I bow to her works. I know the hurdles she overcomes to set the example. Mama Faya, with her heart and strength and continuing to uphold the movement. Mama Aita, who's gone from us now, but her liberty, she set an example that moved me. Mama Jackie, with her big heart and openness to all people who stand for good. Barbara Blake Hanna, with her eloquence, spreading the message over the decades, and too many to name. But I just want to give respect to the movement, to Rastafari, and for the liberty. I just got your book, Musa. I love reading about.
Oh, you get the book? All right, give thanks. Yes.
What's that?
No, I said you got the book.
It arrived, and I'm loving it. Your voice lifts me up. Your voice inspires me. Your voice, how you continue to look at the whole world and really pay attention to what's happening and keep the people informed.
All right.
And the eloquence with which you do them.
All right, give thanks, sister. We have to move. Give thanks. Yeah.
All right, give thanks.
Yeah, that's Sister Swan is her name, and she is very familiar with Jamaica, and she is what I call a European Jew. The same people them who England give the land to. But some of them shout out and bawl out like she. Okay. It's ironical that even the lady we just talked a while ago as a European Jew, if you hear she mentioned about the Torah and the Abraham argument, even she don't see it as a literal story. She don't see that. Even the Bible, I think which book again? There's a book in the New Testament there. Ephesians. We talk about the story of Abraham as an allegory. But if you really check it, and most of these Jews, even though they may defend the Torah, they talk about the Torah as a land title, them hold it up in the UN as a land title, say, this is them land title, them deserve, them supposed to get it in the name of God. God give them the land. A whole heap of them don't believe it's literal. It's not literal. Them don't believe that Abraham was a literal thing, and these people who them say was in Egypt and them don't believe it's a literal thing. A lot of Jews in Israel are atheists. Yeah, them take a poll. A lot of Jews in Israel is atheists. Especially the one them know, you see, I jump up and down and I fight. The Palestinian them. So we have to really think on all that. Think on it. Call them hold up the Torah. Christian call it Old Testament as a legitimate book. Yet still most of them don't believe it. They don't believe it when them feel like say them can use it to politically move people and take where people land. Just like when white people go to America and then them go to Africa and then them go to India. That is how them get the land. Thief it. England thief enough land. Enough land England thief, including the one now where the Israel them a fight for. Them thief the people them land and give it to some Europeans for coming and get the land. And now them now are going like, them must say, is reaction, action and reaction and reach it. But we will never understand that because Jamaican people more into food and clothes and, this and that. But it's quite